everyone! Welcome to Glow and Thrive Live. My name is Antonette Carabuena, owner of Garantis Private Nursing Services, Entrepreneurship, and I am here with my co-host, Nikki.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
Nikki.
everybody. How are you, Antoinette? So,
I'm
again, it's another
good.
day.
Good. Tonight's going to be fun. I'm just warning the audience, it's a little bit unconventional because everybody's busy. We're all nurses, and even if we're nurse entrepreneurs, we have a lot of side gigs and hustles. So we're everywhere today, but we want to make sure that we're here and we are going to accompany our audience, and we're going to give you all of you a great show. And I cannot wait to meet all of our amazing guests for tonight, Nikki, right? Are you excited?
I am so excited. Do you care if I introduce our next guest or our guest?
In a bit, because we have to make sure that, we basically tell our audience about Filipinos in, because this is a great opportunity. We found our coach Rue, our production team, so I want to make sure that we thank them. So Nikki, go ahead and introduce Filipinos in live production.
So, guys, this is Filipinos Live in Production. It is a great experience. And as you know, 85% of people don't like what they do. We hear this all the time on Freedom Friday, and it's true. So, we have two great guests here who's willing to talk about what they love doing and how they are also nurses and how they love being nurses. So, it's going to be an interesting experience. So, I am going to give the show back to Antoinette to introduce the two new guests of the show who's excited to be here as well.
Yes, I'm so excited. And also, you know what? This Glow and Thrive Live is an amazing show. As what I've said, we're here to educate and entertain and engage everybody on this show. We talk about beauty, health, and wellness, and we invite everybody, nurse entrepreneurs, all our clinicians, and everybody who has the knack and the expertise to talk about health, beauty, and wellness. So, we're going to be hearing real stories from real people. So, if you guys do want to join us, feel free to message Nikki, message me, or message Filipinos in Production. We have a Facebook group, and so as Filipinos in Massachusetts, because that's also a huge group where we actually put in all of our videos over there. So please feel free to contact us so we can have you on the show. Also, welcome everybody. Welcome everyone to Glow and Thrive Live. We just can't. You did the check, come on. Thank you, Emerson. I think I'm just too excited, so I kept on talking and talking and talking. But again, everybody, welcome to Glow and Thrive Live. And me and Nikki are just so thrilled and excited for all of you here, for you to be here in today's episode, because we titled it as Breaking Out from the Bedside. So if you're a nurse looking to expand beyond your traditional bedside roles, then you are in the right place. All right, Nikki, why don't
Oh,
you go ahead and introduce your business first, and I'll introduce my business.
so my name is Nikki Loquez. I am the owner of ISA Health Solution and ISA Business Proposing Outsourcing. So I am branching out to different companies. However, it has been such a great experience not only being in the show, but also becoming a new entrepreneur. So again, thank you, Antoinette, for this show, and let's have some fun. All yours.
Yes, and always, right? Always, we're always having fun, and this is live, so it's very raw, it's real, it's no filter, and we're just having fun over here as we educate and entertain and engage everybody on this show. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Antonette Carabuena, and I am the owner of Garantis Private Nursing Services. Curantis is an luxury top-tier nursing service offering post-op care, IVF support, and elderly care to clients in their preferred location. And I'm also the proud owner of Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is an online pop-up store specializing in Filipino novelty gifts, items, t-shirts, and also I am the proud owner of Nurse Cafe, and it is an online pop-up store for nurse-themed coffees. You can reach Curantis Private Nursing Services by giving us a call at 617-203-8897, or you can visit us online at curantisnursing.com. And please visit Entrepreneur online at entrepreneur.shop. All right. So before we introduce our amazing guest for today's show, you know what, Nikki? Like in today's fast-paced world, we all encounter, different types or different layers of networks. And, from acquaintances to those eager for a free ride. And then we also find, our true core. So these are the vital professionals. Like as entrepreneurs, we find our lawyers, our accountants, and mentors who keep our businesses or our business wheels turning, right? Because it's very important. And beyond them lies like something that's even more precious, our VIPs, that inner circle that we don't really want. We want to preserve and really want to, not share most of the time. And then ultimately the tribe, our tribe. So these are the trusted few who share your common vision, your growth, and who's there to support you every step of the way.
Correct.
So everybody, joining us today are our two powerhouse entrepreneurs who are not only successful in their own right as nurses, but are also integral parts of my women tribe. So together, we've supported each other, celebrated each other's wins, and lifted each other through every challenge. So everybody, let's get ready for this amazing show as they share their stories, breaking out from the bedside to being nurse entrepreneurs. And to all our audience, please let us know where you're from. Drop your comments in the link below, and please put in your questions as well later on for the show.
Antonette, I just wanted to remind you. Oh, here we go. Here's Ruben. I just wanted to remind you about this guy.
Nikki, go ahead and introduce our Coach Ru to all of our audience, please.
Coach Ru, welcome to your show. And ladies and gentlemen, this is famous Ruben Austria, the founder of Filipinos in Productions. Welcome, Coach Ru. How are you?
Oh, you're muted.
You're mute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was making an appearance, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for putting this production together. I'm really excited to hear what your guests have to say today. So that's thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. We're always grateful for all your support and everything, you've done for the show, Coach Ru.
Absolutely.
So sit back and relax. You're not the host for the show. Just enjoy the ride. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Enjoy it.
All right.
Have a great show.
Thank you. All right, Nikki. So why don't you introduce Shonda? Go right ahead, Nikki.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you, Shonda. Shonda, can you please say hello to the audience and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here. I'm in my work clothes, but I'm super excited to be here and to share what I have learned over the years. So yes, I am a registered nurse, and I've been a nurse for 19 years, coming up on that 20th mark, and I'm super excited about that. I am owner of Life Pro CPR and safety training. So I teach CPR and I do also workshops on safety training in the workplace. So I host a lot of workshops on diabetes, hypertension, CVA, those things that really matter in our community to help keep us safe. I also am the owner of Respire Consulting. So I am into real estate investing. I've been an investor for about almost 5 years now, and currently I had 8 properties and I just sold one. Woohoo! I'm so excited about that one. So my goal is to inspire other nurses to get into real estate, and I have loved it. It's just been amazing, the things that I've learned since I started this journey of entrepreneurship. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's awesome. Right, Shonda? Nurses do it all. We just want to have a little bit of everything. We can tap in real estate market. We can do entrepreneurship. We can do legal nurse consulting. Name it.
Yeah.
We have, right? We have the skill. It's
I just
really.
don't want to be a plumber. Antonette. I don't want to be a plumber, okay?
You know what? In the hospital, though, we are trained to be plumbers, right? Say yes to all of our audience who are
right.
nurses. We are trained to be plumbers. We are trained to be electricians, especially on the night shift.
Right.
We cannot have the resources are very scarce. So we can do everything. Nursing is a great
Everything.
foundation.
Right.
Yeah. It's a great fun, and I can't wait for Shonda later on. Maybe you can be a guest in other shows. We can invite you, and we can talk about because money is still part of health, right?
Right.
It's part of like wealth and health. So hopefully we can invite you, and you can teach us and educate our audience about real estate investing, specifically for nurses. That would be fun. All
Yes.
right. So I am going to introduce you guys to our next guest. Our next guest is so amazing. She is specializing in elderly care, and she owns Jubilant Healthcare Solutions in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So Janelle, hey Janelle, tell us more about what you do and welcome.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you, Antonette, for the invite and for having me on the show. And what you just said was so funny because literally I was just thinking as I was unstopping a toilet in my house that my kids stopped up how nurses make good plumbers when it comes to that. Because if you think about it, if you've learned CPR, you're doing that pumping motion.
I like that.
Like literally just this past week, I was thinking to myself, my nursing career prepared me to do
Everything, y'all.
That's
So hello everyone. My name is Janelle Weeks-Smith, and I am a concierge nurse, owner of Jubilant Health Solutions here in the Myrtle Beach area. And my focus is on the aging adult and senior population. And the reason I chose that population is because in my 22 years of nursing, what I realized is that so many people, actually 18 years of living here in the Myrtle Beach area, so many people have come here to retire. Excuse me. So many seniors have come here to retire, and oftentimes they've left their loved ones, their adult kids, hours, sometimes states away, and they don't have the help and support here. And so not only am I providing skilled nursing services to the aging adults, but I'm providing a peace of mind to their adult children who are busy living their own lives hours away. And I'm happy to be here and looking forward to sharing some insight about my journey on this entrepreneurship journey.
nice.
So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Janelle, Shonda. And this is so great. And also to our audience, if you guys have thought about starting your own business, please drop a yes in the comments below and let us know what kind of business you'd love to start. You can probably create a plumbing business, or you can be, doing something else. As what I've said, nurses have it all. We have the skills, we have the talent. That's why today or tonight's show will be amazing, because we are breaking out from the bedside and we are utilizing our nursing skills, our critical thinking skills, our nursing process, and trying to put into another side of, the nursing part, which is entrepreneurship. So this is going to be amazing. All right. So Nikki, do you have a question for Shonda?
I am always, CPR, you guys, it's a broad range. It doesn't just apply to healthcare workers. It applies to community people too. It's really a good idea for you guys to be CPR trained. Even teenagers or little kids should know CPR training. So I kind of want to have insight on the challenges being a CPR instructor. Especially when you're working with an age group that has to understand teachabilities, and how do you even train a 12-year-old from an adult person in CPR? So I'm curious to know.
As I teach my kids, I always say children are more easier than adults, because I believe when the children are trained, adults will follow. Children are so curious, like, oh, what is this? How is that? And so they're probably my easiest group, because they're so curious to learn, and how do I do this and how do I do that? But I believe that CPR is for everyone. If you have a beating heart, CPR is for everyone, because emergencies can happen anywhere. I cannot tell you how many times I have been at a funeral, on an airplane. I was on my way to Turkey one time, and someone yelled, "Is there a nurse on the plane?" And I'm thinking, I'm on vacation. But I did raise my hand and said, "Oh, nurse on the plane." So it can happen anywhere, anytime. And I tell you, one of the things that really drove me to be more active in my community, I had a friend who at the time was 55 years old. He was a truck driver. He went to the hotel to check in and fell dead at the hotel desk. No
Wow.
one knew what to do. And that was shocking. That was a life that could have been saved if someone knew what to do. So I think sometimes we take it for granted, because CPR, it's a very easy concept to learn, but I think we take it for granted sometimes of this can't happen and that can't happen until something happens, and which is very unfortunate, very unfortunate. So my goal, one of my initiatives with the CPR, as I get more involved into this business, is to take it to a higher level. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and my goal is to get with the councilmen here, so that CPR can be taught in the high schools. These kids, they are, fentanyl. I don't know about y'all town, but fentanyl is a drug here that these kids are taking a lot, and it's just heartbreaking to know that we're losing out these kids over this drug. And so sometimes we in the community, we don't know what to do. We're bystanders, and we watch that life just slip away with something that could have been helped in the process. So with that, I'm also teaching Narcan, how to help the community, how to show them how to use the Narcan. That has been huge in this area. Not only the Narcan, the Epipen, it's just a lot going on. And like I said, my goal is to take it to the high schools and make sure that everybody knows make sure everybody knows CPR before they leave high school.
That's awesome.
I just have a question. I just want to dive a little bit deeper into your story, Shonda. I just wanted to ask, what made you step away from bedside nurses to venture into business for yourself? You have to think about that.
It was a combination. my daughter came in my room one night and she said, "Ma," she said, "so you want to work as a nurse until you're 70?" And I said, "Yeah, that was a goal." Just to, I still laugh at that when I say it. Yeah, that's a goal to retire when I'm 70. She said, "There's so many different things that nurses can do. Have you ever thought about?" I'm like, "No, no, no." And I think my daughter at the time was like maybe 18 or 19 years old. And she was like, "Well, I really want to go into my own business." Well, in my generation, if you had a good job and some benefits and, insurance and everything, you were really doing great. So trying to navigate outside of that, it was scary until I got into it and I realized the freedom that I was missing. The
Favorite
freedom
word.
that I was missing.
Favorite word.
And
Awesome.
that is what I thrived on for since the last 5 years I've been in entrepreneurship. Is the freedom that I was missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so it's my daughter, and then in the combination of meeting uh Quinta, I tell you, she's an amazing person. All
She's watching
the
right now. Hey,
oh my
Coach. Thank
goodness,
you.
coach.
We love
Hey,
you.
she is, we do. I love her. I mean, she is simply amazing. She has poured so many ideas and to get me to the finish line and like, "Shonda, you can do this," because I was thinking, listen, I got a good job here. My career is flourishing. Why would I leave this?
Yeah.
Until she showed me something different. And it's just amazing. And so all the independent nurses, I call them my nurse gang, because we're tight like that. When nurse gang is tight like that, and I just love it. I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But Quinta, I'm telling you, I'm gonna give her flowers while she is living. She is simply the best. She's an amazing woman, an
Yeah.
amazing woman.
Awesome. And also just to add on to what Shonda says, we're talking about Coach Quinta. The reason why I invited these two amazing entrepreneurs right now, because I'm gonna let the audience know about my network, my precious network. We are part of a coaching group back in the day with Coach Quinta, and the reason why we are strong nurses and the reason why we've really lifted our businesses is also because of the network, the very tight knit network that we chose, because your network is your net worth, and also having that coach and mentor who's really willing to help you, and the right coach and mentor, because some are just not
Right.
really great. So that's why we're saying hi. I've been through a ton of mentors in different stage of my entrepreneur life, and Coach Quinta is one of them. So there's just so much gratitude for her, although she's focusing on her business right now, but hopefully one of these days she can come back, and maybe Nikki, you can be your mentor, because she is amazing. But
Right.
before I ask a question to Janelle, I just wanted to encourage all our audience, because we also want to make sure that our audience is, if you're a nurse or if you're planning to go to nursing school or be a nurse entrepreneur, please drop in your comments below. We already have so many comments here. I don't know. We have Miss Marie DeMayo watching from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And we have Mr. Montehermoso saying, "Hi, everybody." We have a lot of people that are supporting all of our amazing guests for today, and all of our co-hosts, me and Nikki as well. So I'm just like reading over here. We also have Quinta Kaler, who's really giving us all the best wishes. We have Bernadette, Kate, and Ronelle Simafranca. She's saying hi to Shonda, and thanks for sharing your incredible story. Later on, if we could just pose his question, there's already questions that are coming up. So to our producers, please feel free to just put it on there, and me and Nikki will help read the questions, and Shonda and Janelle can. Oh, we already have a question. Nikki, go right ahead and read them.
So there's a ton of questions. I don't know which one you're talking about.
The one on the screen.
Okay, so it says the one on the screen says, "Hi Shonda, thanks for sharing your incredible story. Just wanted to ask, what is a good piece of advice you can give to new sayers out there? Lots of love from the Philippines." Look at that! You're getting audience from the Philippines.
Oh, lots of love back. Lots of love back. But one of the things I really had to do is focus on me. I really had to focus on myself and what I wanted to do. And I remember a piece of advice I got from my father a long time ago is never take advice from people who are not moving in the direction you're trying to go, because they're putting their fears on you. It's their fears, not yours. It's theirs. And it's very hard to listen to people who are not moving in the same direction that you're trying to go. So I had to focus on me and learn how to surround myself with people who are moving in the same direction I'm trying to go. Because whether you believe it or not, it does, when I'm talking to my family and if I want to do other things to them, because they're not where I'm at, it sounds like I'm bragging. But if I was talking to Gwen, if I was talking to my nurse gang, they were like, "Oh, you're doing this. You got this, sis. High five this." So you have to be around people who are moving in the same direction you're trying to go.
Awesome.
Amen. Amen.
I support that. Yeah, we all support that. 100.
Yes, and also I wanna ask Janelle a question about Janelle. What about you? Like, what sparked your decision to move into business?
So for me, what sparked me into moving into business is a multitude of things. As everybody on the panel knows, when you're working for an organization, you're not getting paid what you're worth. Sometimes it can be difficult. They keep moving the carrot for promotions, so it can be difficult to get paid what you're worth. But not only that, the work volume, the workload can be to a level where you're not providing the level of care that you know you can and you want to provide for your patients. And for me, I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a nurse. And so I still have a passion for nursing, although there's been in the news for quite some time about people leaving the bedside and leaving nursing. I still have a passion in my heart to nurse, because nurses, we help to promote health, but we also help to get people well. And so we provide such a great service to the people in our community, and I want to continue to do that. However, working for someone else has tend to limit that and create struggles with that when you're being told you have to hurry up and get that patient discharged. You know, you have a certain amount of time on the telephone to talk to the clients. And then when you're talking to them, for me, what I realized is that there were people that were having simple challenges that if the time was allowed, nurses could do the things that they needed to do to help ensure that that patient knew how to take care of themselves, what the next steps were. But two, I realized that there are more people in their homes than there are in the hospitals and in the doctor's offices. And so with that being said, I thought to myself, people need to have more opportunities to have a nurse when they need it. You know, not just because insurance says you qualify, not just because your doctor wrote a prescription for it, not just because you need it for an extended period of time. I do believe that people need the opportunity to say, hey, you know, I have a question. You know, I'm in my home now, that they went over the instructions in the hospital, but it didn't quite sink in. So I would love to have a nurse to come in my home and go over this stuff and make sure I understand. And so just wanting to make a greater impact in my community to continue and to be able to provide nursing services to people the way that I always wanted to, and I want to continue to do, and also to help build the profession as a whole. You know, people are there are some nurses that they just don't like their jobs anymore, and so for some that can put a bad taste. But there are still so many nurses out there that really love the profession. They really love taking care of people, and it's people like you guys and myself that are helping to still keep that standard high. So those are some of the reasons why I wanted to, jump into the entrepreneurship, but also time freedom. Just having the freedom to, make my own schedule, and yeah, those are some of the top reasons why I ventured out to be an entrepreneur in the nursing space.
Yeah,
Awesome. I think that's
love it.
very common for all of us, right? Shonda, Nikki, Janelle is all about freedom right
Mhm.
now because in the nursing field, and also off note, we're not like new nurses that just jump right into entrepreneurship. We've been nurses for more than decades, 20, 15 years, and we have that experience. We already have that wisdom on what we're going to do if this happens and so and so, and we're just applying that because we were so used to providing nursing care, the one-on-one care, the unrushed care that we're just all used to back in the day. I still believe that I still love old school nursing though compared to what it is right now, but nothing's constant, everything changed, and all we need to do is adapt and breaking out from the bedside, and we're really not eradicating our nursing skills. We're just putting it into another level, right
Right.
guys?
Yes, absolutely.
Right,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because I have not, now I'm still working as, I don't work as hard, I can say that, but I am still working as a nurse. So I haven't quite moved away from the bedside, but I am on that road. I'm on that road. So I tell people, nothing fuels you to become an entrepreneur into a job that you really, really want to leave. So I haven't quite left yet, but I don't work as hard, and that is the truth. I just want to make sure everything is, straight, good before I actually dive out there as a whole. But I'm in there, and like I said, I've been in there for 5 years, even with real estate and teaching CPR and safety training. So I love
Yeah,
it. I would take.
and just in addition to, we also want to transition safely, right? And I truly
Yeah,
believe if you're really passionate about what you're doing and you love what you're doing, business or entrepreneurship is not like an instant gratification. It's not like a get rich scheme right away. You have to work
absolutely.
hard. You have to build a strong foundation.
For
For
sure.
those people that really wanted to get rich within 24 or in months time, then I think you're, that's what they say. I don't know if there's this author that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, that your BI triangle is not completely there yet because you have to balance everything,
Mhm.
and having all those different components requires time.
That's right.
So I truly can empathize for that, Shonda, and making sure and understand you and making sure that there's enough cha-ching in the bank before you truly
That's
you
correct.
truly abandon the bad side work. And even if it's also, nursing is just everything, because even if you try to just break out from the bad side and focus 100% on your businesses, which some of us are, there's always a way wherein you can always just like take per diem or contract assignment just to keep up with the
That's right.
skills,
That's right.
especially if you are a service based nursing business, right? So let's go to our next question. We always ask this because we have another show where we co-host as well with Coach Rue. Nikki and I always love to ask the challenges. So Janelle, if and we can actually have them answer Grace's question in a bit. But Janelle, in terms of nursing entrepreneurship, what's your biggest challenge or your biggest challenges and lessons? If you could share that to us, that would be great.
Sure. So for me, my biggest challenge, I would say, is probably marketing. Um, as Shonda mentioned, she still works at the bedside. I don't work at the bedside. However, I do still work for an organization. And with after 22 years of nursing, where people came to you, you didn't have to go find the clients came to you, the patients came to the hospital or the doctor's office or whatever capacity of nursing you were working for that organization. But now working for myself, someone who I consider to be an introvert, it has been difficult to get out of my comfort zone, to actually be able to go out and tell people, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is my business. Um, so getting out there and networking has been a little difficult for me, because although I can, you know, talk to my patients and their family members and things of that nature, just starting the conversation about my business has been a little difficult for me. However, during this journey, I have certainly grown, and I have it's definitely been beneficial for me. So yeah, marketing has been my biggest challenge, getting out of my comfort zone and getting out there, creating, building relationships, and telling people about my services and what I offer. So yeah.
Great. And we have, okay, Nikki, I think you can read that comment. And there was a question also, if you could just ask Shonda about that. Oh, there's actually, yeah, there is a comment for Quinta. It says, agreed, there's a lot of wisdom in not just cutting off completely all at once. You need one foot in and only for you need one foot in. You need to figure out a way to stay an insider. That is so true. That's coming
Right.
from Coach Quinta Kaler.
So I actually have, we may have almost the same service line, Janelle. So I am actually branching out my staffing agency and my home care agency. So, I just for competency reasons and to show off your skills here, just can you explain to the audience what does skilled nursing versus non-skilled nursing means?
Oh,
And how that actually works out where you're at, because I'm in Boston.
okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah. That's a great question, because that is one of the things that I like to tell people is that here in my area, there are several non-medical home care companies that will provide things such as bathing, companionship, helping with meals, and light housekeeping. However, in what the services that I offer, I'm a registered nurse, and so I can help with those education, medical questions. I can help with care coordination. Skilled nursing just means that I'm highly educated. Well, I'm educated as a
yes,
nurse.
you are.
Maybe,
You're highly educated. Stop downplaying yourself.
You have a
That's
master's
true.
yes, yes. So I'm educated as a nurse, and so there are a lot of things that non-medical people cannot do. Filling pill boxes, being able to look at the different medications and realize and understand that these medications may be causing the side effects or the symptoms that you're experiencing. Using the critical thinking skills that are necessary to do certain treatments that might be ordered, such as dressing changes, um, wound care services. Being able to, just go. Education is highly important when it comes to the what the nurses do, education and support. So that's what I mean by the skilled nursing part. A lot of the a lot of the challenges that people experience when it comes to their health is because of the lack of education and health literacy. And so as a registered nurse, those are some of the things that I'm able to help with that oftentimes a non-medical person can't.
Yeah. And also, Janelle, please be proud of your Education. As you all know,
Totally.
Janelle is a master's prepared nurse. So yes, she is. She has the advanced degree to teach and to educate all of you and all of her patients and clients out there. But also we have a ton of questions from our audience. So I just wanted to ask Shonda, because I know Shonda, we're gonna say goodbye to us in a few minutes. So there's a question here, Shonda, that says, "What tips can you give to our young/novice nurses who has the knack for nurse entrepreneurship?"
Um, I take one of the most important things that I have learned on this journey is networking. Networking is huge, and you have to always be in the know, stay in the know. I'll tell people, McDonald's don't have to do a lot of advertising. They're McDonald's. But you're just starting out in your business. And so you need to let people know I'm here. And that has to be done all the time because people don't know what they don't know.
That's right.
So if you're not advertising, they don't know that you're there. Now, to you, it may seem like, gosh, I talk about this all the time, all the time. Well, until you get McDonald's status level, you need to be talking about it all the time, all the time. So networking is huge. So I'm always attending events, whether small, large. I started an event here in my town. Women over 50 in businesses. Did I just say my age? Oh yeah, women over 50 in their business. In their business. I have about 600 people who join that. That is huge networking because then they know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So that's huge networking. So you always have to be networking. I'm always talking, and I do understand. I have someone to say, "What about the introverts?" That is hard, I'm sure, but I'm not there, so I really can't speak on that. But I do know that networking is important. Everybody that I connect to is someone that I believe that can help me get into the next door. So I'm always networking, always.
Awesome. And we talk about networking, and yeah, we have another question. Go right ahead, Nikki.
So I was actually been dying to ask you guys these questions, and I really want Janelle to answer too. But it says, what advice can you give nurses who's essentially burnt out and they're jaded, they're miserable, and guys don't judge us for this. But I mean, when you deal with problems all day long and you have your own, it can really take a part of you. So be mindful that we are humans too, even though we're nurses. So can you answer this, Shonda? See? Give it your insight.
What I do, I actually have a me day. I know that sounds so corny, but that's the truth. So I actually have a me day. There are days where I do absolutely nothing. I don't advertise. I don't do work. I don't do anything. And I just do what I like to do. I like spending time with my own self. You got to learn how to do that. You got to learn how to spend time with you. And so I would get my spa day in. I'll go to the gym, whatever I like to do. But I would just have that time for me. I don't talk to anybody. My phone is off. And if I choose, I'm always, I don't know. I'm just not, that day, that one particular day, is I just surrounded with just what Shonda wants to do. And so I have developed that, and that has actually absolutely worked for me over the years. Even if my children call me and they was like, okay, she's out of commission because it's her day, yes, and I do absolutely nothing. I had to learn how to say no because it is not, and I had to learn this. I had to learn this. It is not nurses' responsibility to staff the hospital. That is not your responsibility. You got to learn how to say no and keep it moving. Because that is not your job. They will call you all the time, and I've experienced this. So, Shonda, we need help on the floor. I'm a team player. I'm a team player when I give you 2 to 3 days a week, and that's it. That's all I'm giving. So, but it's not our job to be staffing the hospital. They have people for that. They have people for that. So you got to learn how to just say no. and mean it and move on and realize that what you're trying to do, you're important. You're important. So yeah. I don't staff the
Awesome.
hospital. I don't try to staff the hospital anymore.
So for me, I would say to answer that question, have options. When you have options and you have some other plans, then is when you get frustrated, you feel more confident because you have other options. But when you feel like you don't have options, I think that's when the burnout comes in. Um,
That's true.
and also realize your value. If you are at that point where you're feeling burnt out, I would say go ahead and start you a file. Start writing out things, your accomplishments, your achievements, some of the examples of some of the patients that you've had a huge impact on, some of the things that made you feel good inside about whenever you took care of that person. And that will help you, and at least it helped me to be able to remind myself, you're doing a great job. You know, the system has its issues, but me and what I'm doing, there's value to what I'm doing. I have options. And so that's what I would say is how I deal with the burnout. You know, I'm like Shonda, which that's not what I'm here to talk about. I do some real estate as well, my husband and I, but you know, nursing is really my passion, and I just want to keep going with it. I just know that there's a better way to do it, and the people in our community, they deserve the nursing care that nurses were created to give them. And so just remembering that you have value. You're
Right.
not tied. You don't have to be tied to an organization, or even if it's not nursing. It's okay if you're burnt out from nursing and you need to do something different. Do it. It's okay. You know, nursing does not define you. We have so many different talents and skills that we can start as a hobby and then move into a business if we need to. But like Shonda said, take time for you, realize what your value is. So
Right.
that would be my suggestion.
Yeah. So 100%. That is so true. And lastly, for Miss Shonda, because I know you need to go, you're a busy woman making money. So what would be the last, advice, or like one piece of advice you can give to our nurses considering the leap into business really quickly?
I want to say you and I have to piggyback on what Janelle says. You got to be true to you. You got to have some options, because when you don't feel like you have options, you're going to get stuck in where you are. So I would say again, girls, love girls, everyone, the nurses, surround yourself with people who are moving in the same direction you're trying to go. You got to reach out to these people. You got to get around who wants to be entrepreneurs, who are trying to do this, or who are in this on this journey. But you got to surround yourself with those people. It will make it so much easier for you, because now you're going to have a team. You have a team of someone that says, you got this, high five you, let me encourage you. I call people all the time when they're stuck and they will say, Shonda, this is what I want to do. I was like, I'm going to tell you something, how you can get into real estate very easy. You don't have to have $1 million to do it. Let me show you this. And so when they're doing small things or other things outside of nursing, they feel like they can navigate more easier. So I would say just learn how to just start getting into groups, start getting into things there that you want to do, and surround yourself with those people.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shonda. We really appreciate your time. And hopefully, you'll have an amazing night. Continue to make money so you can focus on your other adventures.
Exactly
Ching!
right.
Very nice to meet you, Shonda. Let's get together.
All
We'll
right.
plan
See you,
something. All
Shonda.
right. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this. I really did. Thank you.
Glad you did. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good night, Shonda.
Thank you.
Take care. All right. She
All right.
is fun. She is wild. But also, I just wanted to let our audience know Shonda also really trained her. I knew this because, Janelle, we met Shonda at the conference. she trained her kids to be financially stable. So she's breaking barriers in their home. She was telling her kids to, you know what, it's fine if you can stay with me until you're done finishing paying off your student loans, so that by the time you get out of the house, you have this X amount of money to sustain yourself and venture out and be financially independent. So that's the type of parent that Shonda is. She is really great. She can also be a mentor if you want to delve into real estate, because she's been doing this for quite a while. And hopefully she can come back to our show again, Nikki, because this is just short lived. She has so much to talk about. She's a hustler and she has multiple businesses. But let's move on. And we have more questions from our audience, and we can just answer them out. Nikki, you can answer them as well because you are a nurse entrepreneur. I can answer questions from our audience as well. And I know, Nikki, you have a question for Janelle. So go right ahead.
You know what? I have so much questions to ask. I don't know where to begin. So I think, as also delving into the same service line as you, I'm gonna be going through accreditation. I'm gonna be going to survey. So I just kind of want insight on, like, what do I expect from this survey, and what am I up against? if you have any idea.
Well, Nikki, I actually don't, because as a concierge nurse, which for some people they might know it as a private duty nurse, I don't follow under those same guidelines. As long as I'm practicing under my nursing license, but also what our oh my goodness, I can't think of the word right now. But
Take your time.
yeah, as long as we are following the guidelines as a nurse, then I can do what I need to do. If there are some, I know that there are some things that require a doctor's order. And so if I come across those things and I'm reaching out to scope of practice, there you go. Thank you, Quinta. As long as I'm following my nursing scope of practice, then, I'm fine. If there are treatments that are needed because it requires a doctor's order, as long as I'm getting that order from that client's doctor, I'm covered. So I don't have to go through the guidelines like you are having to do as an agency.
Well, that's good
Yeah.
to know the difference.
I'm sorry, I couldn't give you any insight.
That was more than enough. Thank you. That was definitely great insight.
I can actually piggyback on that one, and that's why we love concierge nursing, because it's private pay. We don't deal with insurance. We deal with certain type of like niche, whoever you want to serve, the elderly, or if you want to do like C-suite, executives, which what I'm doing. This is actually a great model as well. But also just to add on, because this was like, I think 15 years ago when I helped somebody open her own home health care business, and I was one of the clinical consultants at that time. So you always need to just like, have a checklist. If you want to be like CHAP certified, you have to make sure that you have all the different recommendations, because they're going to come, and you have to ensure that you are ready for that. So you need to have like a plan in place into what are the different types of certifications that your company is actually going to have. And we can certainly talk about that later on as well. I can give you some advice, and it really depends on the new regulations as well, so I can definitely help you with that. Also, all right, we have our producer actually told us, so we are nearing the end of the show. I mean, it's so fun, guys. I hope, Janelle, you had fun. This is
It's
great.
been great.
I just wish that we have more time. But all right, so I think we can just answer one last question, and maybe Nikki, you can start first. There's actually a question from our audience, and for the questions that we haven't answered live, we can certainly go online and answer these questions. It just says there's a question here that says, for us, can you please share the most challenging situation you encountered as a nurse entrepreneur?
Janelle, I'm giving you the mic.
The most challenging situation.
Yes.
I guess for
challenge that you
me,
encountered.
Yeah, I guess for me, the most challenging is probably that balancing, being an entrepreneur and still working full time because, the hours that I would like to go out and market, go to different doctors' offices, it does conflict with my usual work schedule. So I do have to find other opportunities to network and share what it is I'm doing. But the other things, as a nurse, and as anybody, if you have a question about something, find someone that's been there, done that, and ask the question. If you don't feel certain about something, sometimes you do want to step back and ask the question as opposed to, just jumping out there and doing it if it can potentially cause harm to you, mentally, spiritually, physically, and also financially. So, my biggest challenge, I guess, would more so be that, just balancing starting a business and still working full time, having a family.
Awesome. And I think have some time. We can just use this time for some takeaways and advice to all our audience. I can start first. If for all the nurse entrepreneurs and for anybody who would like to start their own business and break out from the bedside, my advice would be, utilize the nursing process. I know people would just say just go for it, but you also want to make sure that you are armed with the right tools. So utilize the nursing process. Start with it, always say start with ADPI, your assessment, your diagnosis, your planning, implementation, evaluation. So assessment is knowing your niche. You need to make sure that you have done your research. Diagnose is evaluate yourself if you have the skills for that one. If you don't, then get certifications or hire people that are more skilled and more smarter than you to perform that certain duty, if it is a service based or a product based business. P is planning. Make sure you have your business plan. Make sure you have a plan on what's going to happen quarter per quarter. And I is your intervention. Roll out your plan, roll out your intervention, and then later on, just make sure that you evaluate. So this includes your metrics. Make sure that you're measuring your metrics. What are the metrics for your social media campaign? What are your metrics for your networking events? Are you gaining some return on the investment of your money and your time? And if you don't, then you just have to adjust. You have to adapt and adjust your interventions and your plan and go through the same process again. So that would be my simple advice to everybody who would want to break out from the bedside and be a nurse entrepreneur. What about you, Nikki? Go right ahead.
So it is definitely a road. It will require a lot of grit for you to succeed into the nurse entrepreneur world, especially that we are nurses. We are trained on what we can do as nurses. So coming out of that nursing skill, I'm not an MBA guy, so I don't have a business degree. I do have a psych degree, but it doesn't help me any really. But I mean, you got to really understand the business world, and you have to be open-minded to understanding it and not knowing about it. So I think you also have to face these challenges professionally. You will meet the strangest of people in business, and some of them are good people. Some of them are trying to take advantage of you. Some of them, are more confused, and it's definitely like it's not an easy walk in the park. So it requires a lot of grit, but you need to stand your ground and just keep plowing through no matter what gets thrown at you. I think that's the most successful way for you to be successful in business, and like this, network, make friends with the same thought process and with the same direction. That is really your go-to, because sometimes you need a shoulder to cry on, and you want somebody who can appreciate what you're going through to give you like insight on how to do things better, or how to respond to certain situations. I think I call Antonette once a week about on different topics, and how to deal with my employees and how to deal with a customer, or I always need that feedback. So it's great to really network, and I think Janell is she has a lot of insights to give. So I really thank you, Janell, for being on the show. It's really a pleasure meeting you. So I think it's been a great. So that's all I can give you guys for the time being. As
Thank
far
you.
as
And
being a
then
new business.
Thank you, Nikki and Janelle. One last piece of advice or a couple of words to our audience.
Just thank you guys for having me on the show today. It's been really fun. Yeah, Jubilant Health Solutions here in the Myrtle Beach area. So if you know of any aging adult senior population that is needing one-time or frequent visits by a nurse, then definitely send them my way. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. And please support Jubilant Healthcare Solutions, Life Pro CPR, Shonda's company, and Nikki, which is ISA Health Solutions, Kiranda's Private Nursing Services, and Entrepreneurship. And before we go, we'd really love your help for everybody to please spread the word about the show. If you found value in today's show, share it with your network. Our goal is to reach 2,000 shares or even more, and at least have like multiple comments on for this show. And we thank you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next month. Take care. You took the check, come on.